The guideline on unit trust fund issued by the Security Commission Malaysia (SC) serves as the main regulatory framework for the establishment, government, marketing and operation of the unit trust fund in Malaysia. A unit trust is a form of collective investment scheme where money from multiple investors is pooled together and invested in a diversified portfolio of assets such as equity, sukuk, money market instruments or real estate depending on the fund mandate. These guidelines set the standard for fund managers, trusted and discontinued to ensure that all activity are conducted transparently, professionally and in the best interest of investor, while also ensuring compliance with relevant law and in the case of Islamic fund Sharia principles. Objective of the guideline: first, protect investor through accurate information and fair marketing. Second, maintain market integrity and public confidence. Third, set clear operational standard for fund management. Fourth, ensure Sharia compliance for Islamic unit trust. And five, promote efficient fund management and good governance.
I will explain structure guidelines on unit trust. They have three structures, which is fund management company, trustee, and Sharia advisor. For fund management company, they will manage the investment. They also responsible for making investment decision and managing risk in line with the fund's objective. For trustee is who safeguards the assets and rights of investor. They will ensure that all action taken by the fund manager comply with the trust deed and law. Lastly, Sharia advisor. Sharia advisor is who monitors and reviews all investment activities to ensure Sharia compliance. They provide us continuous oversight, screen the investments, and issues an annual Sharia compliance report.
I will explain about Sharia principles and compliance in Islamic unit trust. Firstly, Sharia principles are the Islamic rules that must be followed in investment. In an Islamic unit trust, the investment must be free from riba, horror and maisir. Riba means interest or guaranteed return, which is strictly prohibited in Islam. Horror means uncertainty. All investment information must be clear and transparent. Maisir means gambling or speculation. This means the fund will not invest in high-risk gambling-like activities. Compliance means making sure these principles are always followed. In Malaysia, this process is monitored by a Sharia committee who review and approve the list of investment. If any investment is found to be non-compliant, it must be disposed of immediately.
I will explain the responsibilities of the relevant parties in an Islamic unit trust and also the regulatory oversight by the Securities Commission Malaysia. Fund manager plays the key role of managing the investments. They must follow Sharia principles, invest according to the fund's objective, and always act in the best interest of investors. The trustee is the one who holds and safeguards the fund's asset on behalf of the investors. The Sharia advisor ensures that all investments are halal. They guide the fund manager on Sharia matters. Lastly, the external auditor checks that the financial report are accurate, transparent, and reliable. Moving on to the regulatory oversight by the Securities Commission, or SC. The SC acts like a referee in the Islamic capital market. The SC licenses and approves fund managers and trustees before they can operate. It also approves new Islamic unit trust funds before they are launched to the public. The SC monitors compliance by carrying out inspections and requiring regular report.
The Guidelines Real Estate Investment Trust is an effort of Securities Commission's SC to create a vibrant and competitive market. Real Estate Investment Trust is launched by Securities Commission's SC on 3 January 2005 as the substitute of the previous Property Trust Funds framework and reintroduce all of that using the globally recognized terms, which is Real Estate Investment Trust, REITs, to enhance Malaysia's investment management presence internationally. There are 4 objectives of the guidelines. The first one is providing a regulatory environment that will protect the interests. Next, facilitate the orderly development of the REITs industry. Guidelines help REITs progress in a more orderly manner, avoiding risky or chaotic practice that would ruin the investors' confidence. The third one is provide clearer control work planning. They provide clear rules about governance, types of properties allowed, investment limits, and how income must be distributed. The last one is improving Malaysia's position in the list of competitive market.
I will briefly explain the characteristic and governance structure of Islamic REITs. Islamic REITs are fully Sharia compliant, meaning all assets are used for halal activities like offices and business centers. They allow a small portion of non-compliant income, up to about 20%, which must be verified according to Sharia. All financial dealings must use Islamic instruments, and asset protection is via takaful if available. Risk management follows Sharia principle using contracts like MOHAMMAD for hedging. Regarding governance, the Sharia Advisory Council ensures all operation and investment follow Sharia. Regular audit check income, expenses, and reporting. The REIT manager manages the properties and investment strategy, while the trustees advises to ensure legal and regulatory compliance. Close collaboration among the manager, trustee, and Sharia Advisory Council maintains the sustainability and reputation of Islamic REITs.
Financial reporting. In the context of real estate investment trust, transparent financial reporting is essential to ensure investor confidence. REITs are required to prepare annual and interim financial statements that comply with international accounting standards. The quality of this reporting provides an accurate picture of the performance of the managed property asset. Internal audits are also mandatory to verify the accuracy of the financial figures. In this way, investor gains a clear understanding of the risk. Next, investor protection. Investor protection in REIT is guaranteed through strict regulation by capital market authorities such as the Securities Commission's Malaysia. The key step is to ensure that important information is disclosed regularly and properly. REITs are also required to maintain a minimum dividend distribution level, usually 90% of its profit, to ensure that investors receive consistent returns. Investor protection also include rights such as access to information, voting right in key decisions. In summary, the combination of transparent financial reporting and strong investor protection mechanisms make REITs more trustworthy, thereby increase confidence in the capital market.
Outline of a trust deed. Basically, a trust deed is a formal legal document that establishes a trust and provides the full framework for how it shall be managed. It explains the purpose of the trust deeds, the responsibilities and powers of the trustees, as well as the right of the beneficiary. With all this right and clearly, the trust can operate transparently, accountability, and meet the compliance with the laws. In charitable organization, a trustees play an even bigger role. It makes sure that donations and resources are properly managed and used only for the right purpose. This prevents any misuse. At the same time, will improve governance and public confidence. So, a trust deed is not just a legal requirement, but also the foundation for trust and credibility.
Key contents. First, the name and objective which state the identity and purpose of the trust. Second, the trustees which outline how they are appointed, the powers and responsibilities. Third, the beneficiaries, meaning the individual or group who will benefit from the trust. Fourth, the management of fund which explain how assets are raised, invested and distributed. And lastly, legal compliance which ensure that the trust follows all the required law and regulation.
The importance of trust deeds in Islamic investment is first, Sharia compliant. Trust deeds ensure that investment follow Islamic principles prohibiting riba, means interest, gharar, excessive uncertainty, and haram prohibited activities. Second, its clarity of rights and obligations. They clearly outline the duties and responsibility of the trustee, investors like unit holders and the fund manager, reducing disputes and uncertainty. The third one is protection of investors. A trust deed acts as a safeguard, protecting investors' funds from misuse or mismanagement by ensuring funds are used only for permitted purposes. Transparency and accountability provides detailed rules on reporting, auditing, and disclosure, which increases confidence and trust among Muslim investors. Fifth one is legal enforceability. Serves as a legally binding document that upholds the rights of parties involved in the Islamic investment scheme.
I want to explain about approval process by Securities Commission Malaysia in guidelines on trust deeds. Approval process in guidelines on trust deeds have three parts, which is the first one is Securities Commission Malaysia, the second one is approval of trustees, and the third one is Registrar Companies Commission (SSM). Based on this table, this is approval steps for trust deeds in Malaysia. The first stage is trustee approval. For the authority is Securities Commission Malaysia. For the requirement, trustee must be registered and approved to act for PDS or Sukuk. The next stage is deed completeness. The authority is the same, Securities Commission Malaysia, and the requirement is trust deed must include all provisions per ASIS guidelines. And then the next is possible exemptions and variations, which is the authority is SC Malaysia, that is a Securities Commission Malaysia, and the requirement is Securities Commission may grant exemptions or variations upon application. After that is deed approval and content validation. For the authority is registrar SSM. The requirement is trust deed must meet statutory content and receive registrar approval. And lastly, launchment, which is the authority is registrar SSM, and the requirement is must submit approved trust deed within 7 days to SSM. So basically, Securities Commission approval pertains mostly to the trustee registrations and ensuring the trust deed content align with SE guidelines. They can also provide exemptions and variations. For the SSM registrar approval is statutory under the Trustee Act and focuses on structural validity and compliance of the deed itself, including formal lodging. The next is amendment procedures in guideline on trust deeds. Amendment procedures under Malaysian law by Act 778 Interest Schemes. The laws of Malaysia Act 778 provides detail of amendment procedures, which is firstly, amendments must be effected by supplemental trust deed or contractual agreement. Next, approval from a majority in value of interest holders is required for any amendment to be valid. Like this must be as specified in the trust deed or contractual agreement itself. And then the registrar may waive the need for interest holder approval if certain conditions are met, such as change are merely to comply with the law, they do not materially affect beneficiaries' existing benefits or prejudice their interest, they don't alter the fundamental provisions or objective of the trust deed, and then they don't relieve the trustee of any responsibility. So, these provisions offer a regulatory framework for amending trust deeds prior to interest schemes and specifically outline when stakeholder approval is necessary versus when exemptions apply.